The Heals for Hearts Cardiac Wellness Social is this Thursday. We have Dr. John Lawrence joining us today with details on the event and some tips for a healthy heart. Dr. Lawrence, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we're talking specifically about heart health in women, but what are some of the maybe key differences in symptoms for heart issues between men and women?
So it's a great question. So the typical way a person presents when they're having a heart attack is chest pain. It's like a pressure, mid-sternal to left-sided is what we say. In women, it can be a little bit different. It can present what we call atypically. So it can involve epigastric pain, and that's really the upper abdomen. It can involve shortness of breath, fatigue, malaise. Those can actually represent a heart attack in a couple groups of people, diabetics, but also women.
And of course, there are the obvious signs of heart issues, but are there any signs that we may just kind of brush off that we aren't too sure relate to heart issues?
Absolutely. And really the most common one is just feeling of thinking it's indigestion, but it's lingering. It's not really going away. It's worse with exertion. That's classic for people to just sort of dismiss as not being cardiac when it actually is.
Now, at this Wellness Social this Thursday, that'll be at 5:30 p.m. We'll tell you guys more details on that a little bit later. But we'll get to hear from a few panelists, yourself included. What kind of tips are we going to get from you guys, or maybe advice or things to look out for?
So I think one of the more important things is to know your status from a health standpoint. Once you're in your 20s, you should really see a doctor regularly and sort of know your numbers, which is to say know your blood pressure, your cholesterol, whether or not you're diabetic. Those things, knowing them from an early age, knowledge is really power in preventing those cardiovascular risk factors from getting worse and causing cardiovascular disease.
Now, as I mentioned, we will have a few panelists. I believe we have 4 this Thursday at the event. You will be one of them. Who else do we have that we'll get to hear from?
So 2 great nurse practitioners that work in the practice that have a really strong passion for women's health. They're going to be there as well. And there's going to be a number of people from the practice to just sort of speak about the importance of what's been historically under-recognized in women's health.
And we'll also open the floor, of course, to you guys who decide to attend the event on Thursday. So if you want to maybe jot down some questions, start thinking about questions you may have now. That way you can ask Dr. Lawrence and the other panelists as well on Thursday. And let's get into some details about the event. As I said, it's May 25th, this Thursday. Where is it going to be? It's
going to be at Warehouse 353. It's going to be pretty casual, sort of food and drinks and a good discussion about a really important cause.
And it is a free event, but I do think we need to reserve our spot. So how can we do that?
That's correct. The information will be probably at the bottom of the screen here. It'll show you how to get registered and get plugged in for the event this Thursday. And of course, before we go, as we always like to say when we speak to our doctors, how can we maybe schedule an appointment with you just so we can get to know our own body a little bit better and stay on top of these things? Absolutely. So cardio.com, Cardiovascular Institute of the South is where I work. There are numerous offices here in Lafayette, and if there are ever any questions, just feel free to reach out. The number is on the website. And we've met with you before on Meet Your Neighbor and some other Cardiovascular Institute of the South doctors as well. So if you guys would like to see those with more heart health tips, you can head over to our website, klfy.com. Again, don't forget to register for this free event, the Heals for Hearts event this Thursday, May 25th.